Yo, what is up folks, CG here with something a little bit experimental. This is a blue-red artifact deck. Is it Novelist? Because we are playing the Crime Novelist combo with Animation Module. In a pretty interesting Is It Shell. We've got some of the new cards here, like the Gear Drake. This card has been my obsession over the last week or so since the set came to Arena. I've played it in pretty much every format where it's legal, to varying degrees of success. There's some pretty nifty stuff you can do in Historic and in Timeless with it, with like Goblin Bombardment, and obviously there's a bunch of other things here. But here we're looking at in Explorer, or the Pioneer equivalent. And so firstly the combo. Crime Novelist, 3 mana 1/3. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a counter on it and make a red mana. And then Animation Module says, whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a permanent you control, you may pay 1. If you do, make a turbo. So this makes the red mana and gets a counter when you sacrifice an artifact. When you make the counter, you can use that red mana to pay 1 and then make a colorless artifact creature token. You have these two cards, and then all you need is a way to sacrifice artifacts or creatures. Either actually works. The prime way to have to do this in the deck is Ravenous Intruder. 1 and a red, 1/2. Sacrifice an artifact. Ravenous Intruder gets +2/+2 in the turn. It's got that like Atog-like style ability. And we have some other stuff going on as well. But that is the like core combo. You'll notice there's 3 cards, and we have some other synergies and some other stuff that kind of gets us going. Rather than playing an all-in combo deck kind of like the Animation Module and Novelist, which I think is possible, but a little bit worse, a little bit weaker, we're kind of taking advantage of Animation Module's other modes, the modes of it +1 counters, with things like Patrick Automaton, Steel Overseer, Gleam and Gear Drake, while actually using things like Agatha's Soul Cauldron to let us use Ravenous Intruder's ability kind of on other creatures if we exile from the graveyard, gives us a bit more resilience for the combo. And it also lets us use Emery to kind of like find your artifact pieces. Unfortunately, Ravenous Intruder itself, not an artifact. Crime Novelist itself, not an artifact. Animation Module is. The rest of the kind of synergizes really well. Let's get into it. Firstly, we're playing Gigantha because it's free. 4 copies of Ornithopter with 4 copies of Springleaf Drum. This generates you large value mana, gives us a bunch of value artifacts to kind of play, then also start triggering Patrick Automaton if we hold it to later turns, or kind of develop things, especially Ornithopter being an evasive blocker, to put counters on with Steel Overseer. We then have Gingerbrute, which plays a similar role. Again, evasive attacker. You can actually use like Crime Novelist in a fair way, and so having some other ways to kind of like start sacrificing is actually kind of neat. Yeah, hey, evasive creatures, put counters on them, tap them with Springleaf Drum. Nice. 1 piece of interaction, Voltage Surge, red, 2 damage, or if we sacrifice a artifact, 4 damage instead. So we've got plenty of artifacts to sacrifice. So we've got like some other artifact stuff, we've got our animation modules. At 2 things like interesting. We have our sacrifice out with Ravenous Intruder, but then we also have some pretty powerful artifact creatures. We have Patrick Automaton, 2 mana 1/1 with Ward 2, some protection, which is really, really good. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. This triggers Animation Module. You can pay the 1 then, make servos. Okay, nice. You can then start populating counters onto those servos with Steel Overseer. When I get to that, Gleaming Gear Drake, blue and red for a 1/1, enters the battlefield and makes a clue. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1 counter on it. And so this is another kind of way to, if your opponent's got like a blocker, so your Ravenous Intruder isn't going to die to the Crime Novelist, you can maybe have an evasive attacker here, while synergizing really, really well with the rest of the deck, and the counters here also trigger Animation Module. Evasive attacker as well, super, super solid. I've talked a little bit about Steel Overseer, and these 2 cards kind of work together. Agatha's Soul Cauldron, super, super powerful. Has a lot of text. Mana of any color to activate abilities of creature you control. Okay, fine, we'll ignore that. Creature control with +1/+1 counters on them have all activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And then it taps to exile a card from a graveyard, and then whenever a card is exiled this way, puts a counter on something. The idea here is that we can use the abilities of Steel Overseer if we exile it from our graveyard. That then lets all our artifacts with counters on them tap to put counters on each artifact you control. Really, really powerful, builds a huge board. Really, really good, especially if you've got like a bunch of servos lying around. And you can start populating counters. As soon as you've activated Steel Overseer once, they all then get to start activating it. Or as soon as you've activated the ability once. Similarly though, Agatha's Soul Cauldron can copy the Ravenous Intruder ability and give that to all your things. So you can, hey, if your opponent's answered the Ravenous Intruder, you can make all of your creatures Ravenous Intruders. Then when you attack with them, your opponent declares blockers. Whichever ones are blocked, you get to then go, alright, I'm going to use the ability here, and then I'm going to pop off and hit you for a billion. Cool. So it synergizes really, really, really well with Overseer to put counters on everything, with Intruder as a sacrifice outlet, and also does some stuff with like, hey, you get some value out of Ornithopter out of Emery, which we'll get to as well, and some of the other abilities here. Novelist up top, and then we also have Emery, Lurker of the Lock. 2 in a blue for 1/2, 1 less to cast for each artifact you can go, so you can play it pretty early. When into the battlefield, you can multiple cards, and then tap target artifact in your graveyard. You can cast that card this turn. So does 2 things. Obviously lets you recast your artifact elements, but then also lets you kind of like dig for your Cauldron, your Still Overseer, because you're getting to look at 4 cards deeper effectively, milling them because you can get them back with Emery. Again, with Agatha's Soul Cauldron, you can exile this from your graveyard, and then all your creatures up some sword counters have the ability to tap to let you cast a artifact card in your graveyard. Pretty powerful there, and it's just really, really solid. One kind of note here is that we're not playing Mox Amber. We do have Emery as a legendary creature, but we don't have any others. In older formats, especially Timeless, you can play something like Ragavan. All of a sudden you have 2 very, very cheap ways to enable Mox Amber, and it's pretty powerful, but here we're not doing that. And then we have 16 lands, which gives us a total of 20 mana sources if you include the Springleaf Drums. It's about where we want to be. Simply 4 Steam Events, 4 Plywood Channels, 4 Shivan Reefs, 3 Pathways, and 1 Otter Warriors or 1 utility land. We're very, very finicky about the colours we need. For like Gleaming Gear Drake, we need to make sure that like the pathways even are a little bit awkward here. The 16 lands, the 4 Springleaf Drums. Again, this is at the moment quite experimental, but seems super, super fun. I'm going to take this into some best of 1 arena matches. If you're not ready, please do subscribe to the channel, and let's get into the games. Alright, first match here with the deck. 1 land hand. We do only have 16, but we have the 4 Springleaf Drums. That might be a little low. And I'm looking. And we'll go ahead and keep this. We have kind of everything, which I can't want to actually. Well, the thing we're missing is the Sacrifice Outlet. I think I lean towards bombing Gingerbrute. The Still Overseer animation module kind of combo together really nicely. Let's do this. This also, like, interaction is important. If they're like playing a Marley or something like that, then we just die otherwise. They are not doing that though. Okay. I'm not going to hide everything. I'm going to play the animation module out. There we go. Abzan colors. Okay, Greasefang. Oh, wild. Wouldn't expect that off the Triome. Ooh, we have to sacrifice the module. I mean, it's the price to pay to stay alive. I guess we have to. But it's obviously not ideal. Okay. More awkward, they actually have the it's actually not that bad. Like we're not taking a ton of damage here. We can go ahead and make Still Overseer, hold up the Voltage Surge still, and feel not too bad about it. Then we're building to something pretty decent. That kind of changes a little bit if they slam a Chariot next turn. But, like, we have a game plan we're working with. And if we draw one condition, then we get to do that. Let's see. Witherbloom. The same. We can't get rid of this. We do need interaction for Greasefang. They got land. There's a Chariot in the bin. Okay. It's a nuisance, though. For sure. Drum is chilling. Go ahead and make an Overseer and pass. If I expect Fatal Push, I can play the drum. We presented the creature yet? We have not. If they're Fatal Push into top deck Greasefang, I think I'm willing to risk that. The upside of having Springleaf Drum in play and not having to sacrifice a Steel Overseer to the Voltage Surge is huge. But they do in fact have a Fatal Push, so oof. Alright, Informant. The Steel Overseer was going to die to that anyway, so that's fine. Like, having the Springleaf Drum in play is obviously beneficial for a long time. Ow. Right. This is box 1 Fiend's Informant. That doesn't potentially enable another Fatal Push, but See how things go. They have a Sky Sovereign. Oh, real. I think we need to kind of plan on having a plan for that. Alright, we're gonna sacrifice our Greasefang equity here. It does protect us from Sky Sovereign. No blocks this time. Which means I don't have a crew for this. Oh, okay. So we have animation module. Great. This just dies to the Sovereign. But they need to actually play something to then create. There were 2 cards left. It's either animation module Novelist. Maybe this Novelist gets shot by that, which is not the end of the world, or well, Ganther, but we're dead to this in 2 hits. Again, these Ganthers are probably not going to help us. The Novelist might provide us with another attacker that can threaten lethal. Alright. Just that with us. Let's see if I don't think we're killing without a combo. So, we're not anywhere near a good position though. 6 mana, they did shock. Okay, Takanuma. I hit. Did not hit Greasefang. Informant lets them Kree. Do they have a. Okay, let's them Kree out attack. Alright, is this gonna die? Yeah, it means you're probably dead. Oh, it's away. Yeah. Alright. Okay. No, nothing game 1. That was a little rough, but hey, we moved. Alright, rough game 1. Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts. This looks interesting. Go ahead and keep this. The Geodrakes do kind of interact nicely with each other. Your opponent's up to. I'm just gonna slam Gingerbread. We'll not reveal the animation modules early this time. We're kind of rinsed by Weather Bloom Command there. And the combination of that and the Fatal Push on the Steel Overseer. And like the one thing is that there's not enough space to play all the cards that we really want to play here. We'd like to play 4 Soul Cauldrons. We'd like to play 4 Overseers, because that part of the deck's really, really strong. Especially, Soul Cauldron kind of ties everything together in a really nice way. And the Steel Overseer is kind of providing you a bunch of power to your beatdown plan. Which is kind of what this deck's doing. It's like, I've got the combo, we have some nice interaction with it and ways to kind of recycle it. But then we've also got like a fairly reasonable aggro plan with like these cards. Which I guess we're going to test now. Nice to be able to kill this. I want to play Geardrake here. Would rather play Geardrake in a module than activate the Gingerbread. Do that. One of those lands should have been events. But alright, so assuming these kind of live, we're going to start like popping off with them, these clues. And then that'll also let us make some servos. Nice. We should get some counters and 2 servos here. Yeah. This card's really sweet. It's like a little bit slow, but I think solid. They're kind of strong, so they just didn't have a green source. But, okay. There is a stomp that has been played. Okay. I think it's 1. I think we still have the mana sources. I think get there. Oh, because we can go module first, right? But we still don't get to trigger all of them. Ruthless works the way I want it to. I have to pick the first one this anyway. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, so you're just missing Novelist. No reason I'd be blocking with this. Let's go ahead and attack. And next I've got 2 modules, we can make more servos with these here. Alright. I don't like red. I was only like Atalk red, but like, be kind of surprised to see the elves here. More like red green monsters. But then I'm kind of surprised to see Burning Tree, so maybe there's some around. Automaton. We would like to get into play. I think I'd rather right now because we don't have any artifacts to go with it. Dig a bit deeper. So I'm gonna play mana with this one. This one we will go ahead and use this for. Alright, so next time we've got an automaton with the Ornithopter, and that's going to again get us some more counters. Now though, we've got servos to block with, right? We'll use the ability here. Another interaction I didn't really talk about in the deck tech is one of the things that Gingerbrute lets you do with Soul Cauldron is it lets you give evasion if you've got it exiled to your Crime Novelist or your Ravenous Intruder to let it attack through your opponent's blockers. If they've got like a couple. That's pretty solid. Alright, Inti's a little scary because it gives trample. Miglos. Oh no. They can do it once, but this does disenchant. They opted not to use this. Let's put a blocker on the Barkshire Giant to save some damage, and then we'll also block the Llanowar Elves. That's fine. We're taking 2, go to 12. This thing can give itself trample. I don't know. Vision's a Menace. This gives a creature trample. Double Ornithopter is pretty good. We can go Automaton. Ornithopter. This gets a counter which will trigger the animation modules. We can go ahead and pay blue. Pay red here. Play. Do this again. Trigger. Let's use red with the Gingerbrute, so you'd rather block with the constructs. Okay, cool. The problem is not really threatening like a huge lethal attack anytime. Ravenous Intruder, we would like to get into play. We're in a little bit of danger. But unfortunately, a little limited to their mana. Argoth. I guess Inti makes it come into play. And then you've got the other. I'm opting to blow that up, I'm going to pay for it. Alright. They've got 1 card, so they're going to presumably discard that to give something trample. They're just going to come into the red zone here. They've not activated. Okay. It's 2 mana to give this +2/+2. Could do this. Still not got trample. There's not really a good reason for laying this thing through, right? Not when our life total is kind of at risk. Actually, no, saving a blocker I think is fine. The toughness will also matter for Inti later. I'm really surprised they've not given this thing trample anyway. But that means this card is probably pretty good. Alright, we have a Novelist. Which does stuff. We can play Novelist and Intruder, actually. That is lethal, right? Tap this thing. Alright. Gonna combat attack with this. +3 mana disenchantment here, and you need more counters. Stack this. And then we get to chain off here. And this gets however big. And this is the actual combo. Here we're using Gleaming Geodo to kill. But we could normally do this with either the Ravenous Intruder, Crime Novelist, in conjunction. Either, hey, maybe your opponent's got blockers, you've got the Gingerbrute, go through. In older formats, there are ways you can like sacrifice and drain life and stuff. Either like Disciple of the, well, you know, Disciple of the Vault might be an historic, I just don't know. But a Goblin Bombardment is the one that I've been using in older formats here. It is finicky, there are lots of moving parts, but a lot of them kind of synergize really nicely with each other. Alright, 1-1, going to game number 3. Had like, first game didn't quite come together, second game, alright, interesting. This is kind of interesting. We have Springleaf Drum with no other, like, obviously it feels better with Ornithopter, but like, hey, we've got a reasonable curve here, I think. And some interaction with the Voltage Surge. Gleaming Gear Drakes, better together. Seems fine. Don't daze me, bro. Alright. See what our opponent's up to. That is a mulligan, it looks like. Yeah, I don't really expect the Gigantoplex to come up, but there weren't any other like cards that were kind of blocking that I was too worried about. This is obviously like a very much a work in progress as well. If you've got any ideas, oh gosh, okay. There's a ley line. That is spooky. We'll leave a Springleaf Drum. Let's just play the animation module down next turn. Solid. Also, like having the artifact in play. We don't mind sacrificing the Leaf Drum to Voltage Surge either. Depending what they do here. This looks like mono green. They're going to use this to activate Nykthos. This lets them Nykthos for 4 next turn, in theory. On turn 2, which is pretty powerful, but you're using quite a lot of resources. But yeah, nothing we can do about that right now. Let's make our drink. Then we can either make the module or Gingerbrute. I think I'd rather... we're not sacrificing an artifact quite yet, even though we've got the clue. I'm going to play this next turn. Weird decision. I'm going to get the Gingerbrute in play. Then this, if in doubt, we can always tap this one. We end up doing something else. We'll see how things go. There's a Nykthos. So Summon Citadel activates 2 tap abilities of land. I'm going to pay 4 to it here. They get to untap Cure, and then this makes 5.
But my friend's kind of a big deal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they can't. Oh, they could untap, but they've not done so. Absolutely want to kill the elf. Release what this is tapping for. Let me do anything other than that. Getting the Automaton in play would be ideal. I'm going to maximize. I'm just going to sacrifice the clue to this. I go red module. Make red off of this. We're doing Voltage Surge to the elf. I'm going to sacrifice the clue. We're going to pay the 1 here. Make this up, something else to the mana. We can opt to hit Cure, but we're not taking it down from 7 realistically. We just go face. Try and assemble a clock here. Alright. Just trying to cut them down on mana. They're going to get 5s. Oh, jeez. This is pretty powerful. It uses a lot of cards out of your hand. Like, obviously, Leyline is card disadvantage. Versus Control, for example, this would be pretty weak. But here's 8 mana just off of the... This is pretty nuts. They can even blow up an artifact here. We might be just out of it. Because they can... Well, this is Reach, too. Yeah. It's gonna be tough. Let's see what else they've got in hand, though. Obviously, the other green ley line that's legal in Pioneer is banned here. This is wild, to be fair. I was looking at doing something like this in Historic, where you've got some other... Like, Mono Green's one of the best decks there. Maybe the best deck, actually, because they've still got Khan. But, yeah, they have a lot of resources. Maybe we can find combo and kill, though. It's still limited to 3 mana, but obviously if we get the Ravenous Intruder in play, it unlocks a bunch of potential. We just need to not die. Yeah, there's not really a way for us to get more out of what we have right now. You could animate like attack Cure maybe, but I think that's... Oh well. Give this. Can't be blocked. Nice. This is Trample. This is going to probably chump block here. I'm just going to pass. At this point, our only real route to victory is hitting the combo. Okay. But top deck Novelist is a game. Maybe. Oh, we need this really. This is the next priority to get into play. But then this still has Reach. Oh. Maybe it gets in the red zone. So much mana here. Sunken Citadel is one of my favorite like new cards that they printed recently. I've played it a bunch in like primetime stuff in Timeless. I've played it actually. I've got it in a like blue-white control as well in Standard. There's so much different stuff. I'm kind of backed on it a little bit in paper, but I don't know if that'll go anywhere. Yeah, here's a 10/10 Fracious Hydra. They've still got 7 mana. This is gonna fight the Ravenous Intruder. We can't actually sacrifice the default effects. Yeah, this game is done. Let's keep this one up. Alright, let's go next. This is good. Alright, yeah, that was rough. The mono green deck there looked super powerful. That's like their best draw pretty much. Like the ley line with the Citadel. Into Kiora. Just super powerful. Ton of mana on turn 2. But hey, we try and do our thing. Also, kind of just so happens that they make huge reach creatures with that. It's interesting to see if mono green gets a bit of a run back. We have Automaton, we also have Emery, both kind of tempting. Getting the Automaton in place, like Snow-Covered Plains is also a little suspect. So would like to kind of punish whatever's going on here as fast as possible. See what it is. Okay, looks to be actual humans. That's fine. That's particularly good here. I think. Could play Emery. I definitely want to get the Steel Overseer in play. But I think I'm tempted to just Volt Charge this down. Yeah. We have Glimmer Drake Emery next turn. I'm gonna submit 0 artifacts. Just attack in for 3. Let's see. If they had no 1-drop, they must have like good 2s and 3s though. Tharley is kind of fine right now just because we've got creatures here, but we do obviously have a bunch of creatures in the deck. Alright, if they're going Tharley as a tenant, I feel okay about it. Do not regret that. Oh, we've got Steel Overseer plus we have this Cauldron. Obviously nothing to exalt it yet. I think given that, let's actually cast Emery first. We can work out if we want to hit something, we want to exalt Cauldron, or this activated ability, really, really good. The can't be blocked without creatures of haste. That, using it with Cauldron is super, super powerful. For now, we just get the Gear Drake in play, kind of hold this back, and protect it a bit. Gonna go into combat with these two, if they make any blocks. Even though we will not do so, but we will activate Steel Overseer here. Counters everywhere. Yeah. If you can keep Steel Overseer in play, you probably are winning the game. But I don't want to speak too soon here. It's looking pretty good. Ossification, I'm going to overseer. I'm going to target automaton. It uses their turn. Alright. I need to sacrifice the clue. Do you have the Emery here? They're on 9. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're not getting the Silver in the graveyard. These are pumping. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing lethal. Let's pay into this thing. I should have activated Emery. Yeah, sure. They're going to be dead next turn. Alright, yeah. Still working out like the quirks of things of like, alright, or like, there's lots of moving parts, so taking a little bit to get used to. But animation module, like double ginger brute Amory, we're gonna have to be keeping this. But that game is a nice illustration. I mean, our opponent stumbled a little bit, but how like this version of the deck where you have this pretty strong alternate game plan of just being able to beat down, where you're not all in on the combo, which can like be tough. I think it makes this version pretty good, or at least worth some consideration. It's not a reveal animation module. I'm just gonna make a ginger brute. Attack with the. Ooh, I should cast Emery. I'll attack with these. Alright, we get away with it. I should have cast Emery while we still definitely have the mana reduction. See what we hit here. Okay, some interesting stuff. Soul Cauldron and the Gear Drake. Importantly, we hit Soul Cauldron and a Ravenous Intruder. If we can get the Soul Cauldron in play, obviously we can exile the Ravenous Intruder to that, give everything that ability. They're going to kill the Emery. We do have a backup. Yeah, things go. Then we'll need to find the Novelist. This time I'm just going to move Dominant straight away. Do some damage. From their perspective, they're on blue-red. I'm going to go ahead and cast this. You can pay for some counter spells. I feel pretty decent about it. Or 3. Things we don't want to hit are another Novelist, really. I'm going to go ahead and cast this, because it kind of forces them to use a counter spell here rather than kill the Emery, I think. I think that's okay. If we have the Emery in play, obviously we can get the animation module back. But, yeah. We don't want to sit here doing nothing. We need to be progressing our board state. Okay, they're on Phoenix. That makes some sense. Let's say the opening start could have been a few different blue-red decks, but the Prankster's a surefire giveaway. We didn't know already. You have this. We are going to lose the Emery again. Unfortunate. Might be a game we get to Giganta stuff, but let's see what else they got. No Phoenixes in sight yet. Okay, we got a Soul Cauldron. They could have Spell Pierce. They could have like the one of they have the one of Jari's Disruption. We can actually pay for it. I'm just gonna lead with this. Sure. Oh, this being able to exile Phoenixes is pretty huge, right? I'm gonna try and exile an Emery though. This is the most powerful thing we can do, pretty much. Fortunately, you target after this ability. Yeah, it's the second bit now. So we'll target one of these. See if they want to kill it in response. They have an opt to try and find some interaction. If they don't, we get some nice value here. But they good chance that they do. Don't want anything up to. Is there another 1-mana artifact for us to play? There's a Springleaf Drum, but actually not much else. I think we just play the one. I'm not crazy. into the red zone. But we want this exiled with the Emery exiled to this long term anyway. And next turn we'll have more mana to do stuff. Alright, alright. They're on 8-2. Without a great way to make blockers. You can maybe make Gear Drake or make Automaton. Automaton at least is hard to interact with. But yeah. Iteration into the crew. We're gonna play a removal spell. There's a removal spell that feels kind of bad, but I think that anything else is fine. Literally. Okay. They have an untapped land. They have an interaction piece. They've chosen to kill this one now. They have a Phoenix. We can put the Phoenix back in yard, but we're kind of fine with that. Be fine playing a later game. We'll be down with this thing. We do. You can do Automaton Drill plus key. Trying to lead with this. I don't really respect their graveyard at the moment. Oh, do we just have lethal actually? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's got haste, isn't it? I could have just killed this. I can't believe it. I've thrown the game away. That's okay. Read your cards. Oops. Alright. Well, that feels dumb, doesn't it? Now they have infinite cards in hand. That's a pilot error. I've ever seen one. Alright, new Galvanic iteration. What do we got now? This one going to be a removal spell. We still have Automaton. It's not like totally dead, but it is, we say, not good. Let this resolve. See what they target with the Fire Impulse. They're going to both target here. They have 3. They do not, but oh no, they do have 2. Sorry. I guess all these 3s keep it alive. And loses the abilities. I think this should die. Alright. It takes up a lot of resources still. That's fine. We can put the counters here. Consider. I've played this a little poorly. We're learning, we're learning. I'll put this in the bin now. Alright, land. Okay, so I think the deal that we want to do here, exile 1 Gingerbread. We'll put this on here. I don't want to pay this. Then I'm going to use this to choose an artifact to our graveyard. It's going to be another Gingerbread, right? It could be Springleaf Jump. We're not going to do that. Cast this. That'll trigger the Patrick Automaton. Not at the moment. Some nice rebuilding. Then this will be able to activate next turn. This cannot yet. Alright, let's see what we get to keep alive. Go ahead. Alright, so we punted. We're rebuilding now. Soul Cauldron is actually so busted. Ah, this deck's. I wish that we could find more space somewhere. Definitely onto something. I need to work out what the weaker parts of the deck are. And kind of trim down a bit. It might be that like Leering Geardrake's a bit too slow. It has evasion, but like we have Ginger Brute, some other stuff. In spite of the fact that it can't attack through Arclight Phoenix. You found out the hard way. But that maybe make room for more Soul Cauldrons and more Steel Overseers, both of which synergize really well together. Soul Cauldron may be the best card in the deck in turn. Let's have them pay the one first. Yeah, I'd sacrifice 2 things, it's not worth it. What else we got? They found another Phoenix yet. They've got 2 Phoenixes. Okay. Annoying. For sure. Yeah, Arclight Phoenix being able to block these is actually super good. Or super relevant. What does land do? Land does count on things. So I can exile Phoenixes, but that's on their turn, which is actually kind of a problem. There's no other artifact abilities you want, right? Get Gear Drake out of here. If this resolves. That resolves. I'm gonna decline this right now. Alright. So we can attack with these 2 into the Phoenixes, but that's not helpful. Let's Emery some stuff. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about temporal trespass. This triggers here, we paste the module. You see kind of like how the deck can grind with Soul Cauldron really, really well. In spite of the fact that we would have won this game if I had a brain. Okay. Trying to think is there's a way we kind of die out of nowhere to Phoenixes. There's not really. So Temporal Trespass is like the extra turn spell with Del that they would like play in normal Pioneer. That's unfortunately not on Arena right now, I don't think. Unless they added it while I wasn't looking. It was on the list, but I don't believe I saw it. There's some removal spells, but these things having ward is actually huge. Particularly with the Ravis Intruder here. Alright, we're cruising. Soul Cauldron is the truth. I've decided. Sure. To maybe sacrifice that here or something. But yeah, that's okay. Alright, let's see if we draw an artifact. We did. Let's cast this. I'll pay, just in case they have direct interaction. Then we want to exile a Novelist. That's the other thing, is if we found a Novelist at any point here, we won the game. We can make the servos, we can block with those. Alright, we move to combat. Gonna block these. Cool. Let's do this one at a time. So currently this is 8. So we get there. Nice. Alright, I've seen the post game. Okay, this deck is awesome. And not all the matches went our way, but you can see there's like a ton of potential here. And the deck can really do like some powerful, like pretty incredible stuff. I'm not 100% sure this is the correct build. I've been super impressed as like Emery was kind of strangely almost like a late edition, just because we've got so many non-artifact cards kind of in the deck already. But in combination with Soul Cauldron in particular, wild. You can just kind of go off. There are some cards I was less happy with. I think Voltage Surge is probably the best removal spell for us to play. It just deals with the most things. Pretty happy with this being the only interaction in the main deck, and then us having, if you wanted to play best of 3, having more that you could sideboard into if necessary. And then in terms of cards that I think underperformed, the only thing that I would say is that Drake seems super sweet. It gives you an evasive like creature in the air, which lets you kind of like pop with a combo. We already have like Ginger Brute here. There's a lot of times we can kind of like combo anyway, and you've got a pretty like resilient game plan. And the best, like the biggest resilient part of the game plan is Agatha's Soul Cauldron, and just being able to just spin wheels on wheels and do all kinds of wild stuff with it. To that end, I kind of like look at playing more Steel Overseers. It makes that part of the deck better. Maybe we get more aggressive early artifacts in, just to make this whole kind of package stronger. But I've been super happy with like the early core here. The Gear Drake, the only thing that really stands out is something that maybe we don't end up wanting to play. But cutting these for like an extra soul. I don't know if you want to play 4 Soul Cauldrons. It might be the best card in the deck though. So if you're only playing 3 in the main deck, you maybe want to play 1 on the sideboard if you're playing best of 3. Or alternatively, like it's Graveyard Hate as well, just play 4 and then you have like built-in resiliency versus Greasefang and things like that too. As well. We didn't really use that exile ability versus Phoenix. We were kind of doing our own thing, but I think that's totally fine. Obviously, we could have killed much earlier if I just read the small print on Ginger Brute before. But hey, and then Still Overseer. In the matchups where it's good, it'll be where they don't have interaction and looks really good. They can't remove it. We get to start activating it. It itself enables a bunch of stuff with Soul Cauldron. And the upside here in particular is that if it dies to damage-based removal, we get to go like put that ability on all our creatures. So I do still really like this ability. I posted a list with like hardened scales, which I thought a little bit about kind of a green-red shell with this stuff. Which, to be honest, like, hey, if you're cutting the Gear Drakes, Emery's the only thing here. Emery's like a huge advantage. The issue with going into the scale stuff is that actually there's not, outside of the, like, you're relying on these kind of 3 cards to distribute possible swarm counters, and to add more of that, you don't really have that much space once you've kind of got the combo in. It's okay. It's one thing to consider, but I really am liking the Emery build here. Yeah, let me know what you think. If you've got any cool ideas, if there's any cards you're like, hey, what about this? Or if you think I've missed, then let me know as well. This is like I've been brewing a bunch with Crime Novelist, Ravenous Intruder, and animation module, and this is something I come up with and was like, oh, I think this would be really good. And so yeah, still a work in progress. Land count, like maybe you play 3 Cauldrons and then pick up to like 17, 18 lands. It's a little interesting. I think with the Springly Jumps you should be okay. And the other thing is, if there's like another cheap legendary creature we can play, maybe not Hope of Gira because it doesn't really do anything, but then maybe we can look at Mox Amber too. But again, that's like more space and stuff. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share the video around, and yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and peace out.